Matt here with Not Just Giants. Today I'm going to preview this upcoming matchup against the Packers on Monday Night Football at MetLife. For the Giants coming off their bye, it's been an eventful week in terms of news, with the two big stories being Wink versus Gabes and Tommy versus Tyrod. With the first story, it seems like a real shame and a big black mark on Gabe's head coaching career that while all indications are that he relates well to his players, that does not appear to be the case with his coaching staff. And while there are a couple of coaches most fans wouldn't cry about losing, special teams coordinator Thomas McGaughey and offensive line coach Bobby Johnson, the reason for their dismissal would be due to inadequate player development and on-field performance. But when coaches get fired or quit because of a toxic workplace, which in this case appears to be caused by Brian Daboll's anger management issues, then perhaps the one who should be on the hot seat is not the defensive coordinator, but the head coach. The Giants' defense has not been a problem this year, nor has coaching or scheme on either side of the ball. Injuries to the offensive line, insufficient development of the O-line, poor special teams play, and, most importantly, a regression in quarterbacking have been the biggest reasons for the 4-8 record. Earlier this week, Wink Martindale strongly denied there are any issues between him and Brian Daboll, that their relationship is, quote, the same as it was last year, and he has no desire to leave the team. Sounds good, but I'm not convinced. That said, I hope the two make a genuine effort to bridge their differences, because despite the reported personality and stylistic clashes, their on-field coaching is solid, and losing Wink would almost certainly be bad for Gabes and the team. On Tuesday, it was announced that Tommy DeVito would get the start against Green Bay, who Gabe says, quote, earned it with his play. So the Tommy versus Tyrod debate, at least for now, has been settled. And from what I can tell, a majority of the fan base agrees with the decision. After all, these are not two starters. Taylor has a history of significant rib injuries, and Tommy Cutlets could use the reps. In the end, although I thought Gabes might take the more conservative approach in starting the better player, Tyrod, there's enough momentum here to justify starting DeVito, at least for this game, and see how he performs. There really was no wrong answer. As far as the Green Bay matchup, the Packers are coming in hot after beating two playoff teams in consecutive weeks, the Lions on the road and the Chiefs at home. Not surprisingly then, the Giants are 6.5-point home dogs. That's fair. Although rising star wide receiver Christian Watson won't suit up, quarterback Jordan Love, who appears to have turned a corner in his development, still has plenty of weapons to throw to, a solid offensive line and run game, which is a lot more dynamic if running back Aaron Jones is able to play. On the other side of the ball, the Packers have the 9th-rated passing defense, but only ranked 30th against the run. As such, if the Giants can manage to keep the game close, it would be crazy not to pound the rock with Saquon in this game. That said, the run blocking has not been great this year for New York, so they'll have to do a better job if they want to exploit this clear Green Bay weakness. But of course, the Giants will not win if they're too one-dimensional. Tommy D must continue taking shots to Hyatt and Slayton, but also do a better job in the quick game as well as in the middle of the field so as to avoid taking so many sacks. For this reason, against a good Packer pass rush and a secondary built to mitigate explosive downfield passing, it will be another intriguing evaluation opportunity for DeVito. Last year, the scrappy Giants with Daniel Jones at QB surprised the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers in Week 5 in London, beating them 27-22 as New York outscored Green Bay 17-2 in the second half. Not that I think Green Bay is overlooking New York in this matchup, but the Giants are playing their best football of the year, having themselves won 2 in a row, albeit against 2 weak teams, and should be well rested coming off their bye. Meanwhile, Green Bay might not be as up for this game as they were against division rival first-place Detroit and perennial Super Bowl contending Kansas City, and could be due for a letdown. And frankly, I don't think that 6-6 Packers are that much better than the 4-8 Giants. Compared to last year when the Giants won, their defense is better and more opportunistic. Their wide receivers are more talented, and the O-line is relatively healthy. The biggest difference, however, is instead of Aaron Rodgers versus Daniel Jones, we have Jordan Love versus Tommy DeVito, the latter of which in my view is by far the bigger mismatch favoring Green Bay. The Packers are looking explosive on offense right now, so the defense will have to play well to move Love off his spot and maybe force him into making some mistakes. Having Dexter Lawrence, who has logged minimal practice time this week, playing in at full strength, will be a massive scale tipper in this game. I like the Giants to cover and shock the world on Monday night in a 24-20 win. Let's go!